Okay. So just to be clear, the topic is veganism. The judge, right, as of right now, and who will be judging for this challenge in the server is Flash. Um, I would also like to ask, would you like any moderation of any sort or no?
We ain't probably not gonna need it, man.
Yeah, that's fine. I get that. All right, so we can just get the ping going, and then just to clarify the position for veganism that you're holding to, Deadboy.
I'm not a vegan, bro.
Okay. I'll just take the agnostic position. And so
What?
yeah, we can just
I don't
get
feel
a.
like debating that shit, bro.
Wait, you don't want to
Like,
debate that?
no.
I
I
just want
thought
an
you were like,
argument for why veganism,
it's not
why you
what I
don't
was
hold
gonna
to
do.
veganism.
It's not what I was gonna do. I thought you was gonna say like I don't. I thought you were gonna fucking use name the trade or something like that. I don't feel
Oh
like
no, I
telling you
wasn't gonna
why
use
I'm a vegan.
NPCC.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say I don't care about animals, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. That's
Well,
all
I
I'm
mean,
saying. So,
so we're just not gonna debate about that because it was supposed to be me challenging you for the seat, so I was gonna challenge your view.
no, bro, it's not how it works, bro. You pick a topic, bro, and then you do that topic. I don't feel like debating it's an agnostic stance. Like, no.
All right, do you want me to just take the vegan position then?
Yeah, if you're not comfortably in that position, go ahead.
No, that's fine. I can argue for it. All right, well now that's clear. We can just get a ping going. Whoever can make a ping.
This bitch ass nigga Truth campaign.
Also, Deadboy, do you want to debate formally or informally?
Hmm.
Like, do you want like syllogisms and like time for intro and like crosstalk and
Bro,
whatnot?
no, bro,
Or
no.
okay, I'm just clarifying. All right, I don't think they're gonna ping. So, the argument's just gonna be the motivation for the view. The motivation for the view is just my normative ethical theory, which is the BPW, best of all possible worlds. Um, the idea behind that, Dead Boy, is that we should make actions best described off the BPW. The BPW is just a combination of logically possible worlds, of which things that are considered to be morally acceptable through intuitions and morally unacceptable through intuitions do not exist there. That's the broad understanding of it. So that would be the motivation, as in the idea of a morally perfect world. We wouldn't have to unalive any animals. There'd be some sort of other explanation, whether it's a technological advance, a social norm advance, or any sort of other trivial revelation that happens within the world. So we all ought to just follow that rather than, like eating
Why?
animals. Yeah, we ought to do that
Why do we ought to follow that instead of just
because
eating
it's a
animals
morally
like for our
perfect world.
pleasure? Why?
Because it's a morally perfect world.
That's not that circular. Why is it a morally perfect world? Like, why?
Why is it a morally perfect world? Because in the hypothetical, it's a combination of all logically possible worlds that accounts for all moral intuitions, Dead Boy.
Okay, so it's obviously certain moral intuitions can't coincide with each other. So obviously, this hypothetical world necessarily wouldn't make sense when we're talking about an actuality of if eating, you know, animals is wrong or not. So again, maybe in your hypothetical world where you just gave me, certain extra circumstances that doesn't make sense. I'm talking about in actuality. Why? Because I just don't agree to that notation. It's just some morally perfect world. Like I don't even understand why I would even subscribe to that. Because it
Well,
just doesn't make sense.
that's the
Obviously,
principle of the
obviously, we're going to
ethical.
live in a world where there's certain because you still have to take into account of the different moral views other people have, which would obviously coincide. So no, that wouldn't be by definition perfect. What definition of perfect are you using?
Wait, perfect just meaning that it fits inside all intuitions.
I
And by
don't
the
think
way, to
that's what
clarify,
perfect means, bro.
in well,
Can you
I
use like a
don't
better
think
word
that
to
I
just
don't think that
describe that? Because that's not really what perfect means. I think you're just like obtaining another
yeah,
word and
it's
just
coherent
adding
under
that
the laws
behind.
of logic. There you go. Look,
You said it's coherent under the
wait,
laws of logic. What
wait,
is
hold
that? What
on.
does that have to do with
Can
anything?
you mind if you just like let me like explain something for you real quick? Right.
Well, I'd rather go than what perfect world means. I think that's more, and
Well, I don't
I
think it's
think
really that
perfect just
important
means.
because
I think it
look,
is. I think perfect just means having all the
okay.
required or desirable elements or qualities or characteristics.
Well,
So
that's
is
great.
that the definition that you're using?
I don't think definitions are propositional. I think I'm just gonna stick to the definition that I was using before
So,
because it's coherent under
why
my
not
worldview.
though?
And also, hold
Under
on, I
your
can
worldview, so
explain
that's
that. Look,
only
that's
making it.
great. Look, Dead Boy, I'm not gonna do this with you, please.
That's
Let me
only
speak.
making it.
Dead Boy, I'm not
That's
gonna do
only
this with
making
you. Just
it.
let me
That's
speak.
easier for you. That would be way harder for me to respond to and actually debate with if we don't come
Right,
to
but
a
I still have to
synthesis
clarify something for
on
you before
certain
we move on to this point.
that clarification isn't needed for me. I'm the one that's debating you right now. That I'll get that clarification afterwards if I need it. But I think that this
Okay,
is an
great. But
important
I
part
need to
of the
clarify for the
debate.
sake of the
You don't need to
position
do
of the
that. You're the
normative
one.
ethical view.
I'm the one that's debating you.
But I hope you know the entire idea of moral intuitions. Like you're saying, there's counter
I don't give a
ideas
fuck
that
about
can exist in the world.
I don't give a fuck about
Yeah,
none.
I'm
I don't give a
saying
fuck
the
about none of that shit.
technological
You're the one
advances.
that's
Well, I
debating me.
do.
You're the one that's debating me. I'm
Well,
debating you.
you're
I'm
also
questioning.
debating me,
I'm giving you. You presented an argument. I'm questioning the basis behind your argument. The
and I'm
basis
trying to
behind it is a
clarify for
perfect
the
moral
argument,
world. I
and I'm
asked you
trying to
what is a
clarify
perfect
for the
moral world, and I said
basis.
under what pretense is other what perfect you're using. You said, oh, well, under my own moral view. So you're only making it able for me to respond to only under what you see in your moral view. Aren't we just debating on why is it, in actuality, it's wrong to eat or why it's not wrong to eat
Just
animals?
trying to clarify for you, dead boy. So if
Okay,
you
so why
please
can't
stop cutting me off. Look, I'm trying. Okay, cool.
well
I'm just gonna go over this real quick. All right, look. So the general
yeah.
idea, right, of you just saying that there's different ideas that people can have that contradict each other, and so the world doesn't exist. Well, the entire idea is that if there's social advances and technological advances, like I said 5 minutes beforehand, dead boy, then they would be able to. And so look, that's all I'm just going to say that it's going to
What
happen
do
with
you
an
mean?
actuality. And so
How?
the
I was
idea is
asking
that if we have a
asking
world
how.
that we can look at and we can apply those things to our world, our actual
So
world,
what are
then we
these
ought follow them,
technical
which is the entire process
technological
behind the view, right,
what
dead
are
boy?
these
So look,
technological
I
advances?
can
That
just
I don't
like
think that
type
makes
it out for you
sense.
if that makes it
I
easier,
no, no,
because I'm not going
I
to do
just think
this where
that's
you're just like
I think
not going to let me
that's
talk. You're going to
pretty.
question me
I
4
think that's
times
a,
before I
I'm
even
not, bro.
answer or clarify for the first thing.
Bro, you already
That's all.
clarified it. What I need you to clarify. So I don't understand why you just throwing in these technological advances, gives your argument any more substance than mine, right? Because I just think this is again not even a hasty, a baseless hypothetical that has no basis in reality what we're talking about. Which my argument can be established in our actual world many hypotheticals that can support my argument. I can actually use the stuff that we use within our own real world to detail why I think it's okay to eat animals. So I'm asking what technological advances and why even such you're applying this external thing that usually and it likely is not to happen to support your argument. Like you're basing your argument off of things that
Yeah,
are
look,
very highly unlikely.
the technological advances would just be simple things like problems in society, different health advances in technology, like cures for cancer, cures for things and problems
What
and
does that have
dilemmas
to do?
like
What is
world
it? Yeah,
hunger. Well, hold on,
what does
wait,
that have to do with?
hold on. I'm going to
That
clarify for
doesn't
you.
tie back to
I'm trying
veganism
to
though.
hold on, wait, hold on.
And
Look, you
again,
can say that.
that's still
Okay,
what's
hold
in
on. I'm just
question.
gonna
I
do
don't.
this. It's gonna be a lot
That's still
easier.
what's in
Look, the
question.
entire idea of how it pertains to veganism is that all of these things that are accounted for in this world is stuff that we're actively trying to do in this world. There's actually a GoFundMe for stuff like that. And so look, the entire idea is
That's
that
not the.
if this is better than eating animals, then we ought do
But
this.
that's the problem. That's
That's the
if.
entire point of
That's
the
why. Yeah,
argument, that
yeah,
boy.
wait, hold on. That's if we do not know how to get there. That's the issue.
Well, wait, we do have the idea of how to get there. It's by
No, we
following the
do not.
principles that exist in the
We do
BBW.
not have an idea to get there. This is a hypothetical if you cannot prove that. No, right?
Oh wait, do you want me to give you a couple
Hold on,
links?
wait, stop cutting me off. In these hypothetical worlds, we have no way to get there as of right now. So right now, we're debating in actuality as of 2025 today, right? Is it okay or not to eat animals? The argument you're saying, well, in this hypothetical world, when there's no problems, it is. Well, you're giving me a very circumstantial circumstance that only supports your argument. That doesn't make sense of the actual topic at hand, right? The topic at hand is it okay to eat animals? I could present you reasons why it's okay to eat animals, but only thing you could present me is these hasty hypotheticals to a future that I don't necessarily have to adhere to, and I'm already questioning its existence in the first place. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand how you can get anywhere with just things that don't even exist. It has no basis in
So,
reality. So I
Dead
don't
Boy.
think your argument. I think your argument lacks the fundamental strength and basis that it needs to go through within a topic of veganism. I think it generally does. You at your basis, you can't give me no reasons outside of in this world, you have not visited this world. I don't know how you even know about this world because it doesn't exist. You could possibly give me some studies or something like that. Maybe they can heighten your case. But as of right now, you have no backing or basis at all. So could you? I'm
All right,
actually
look,
asking for proof.
that's good.
That's what I'm asking
Great.
you for
So
now.
look,
Can you give
the
me proof?
entire idea, right, is
I
to
don't care
not
about
just
ID. Can you
say,
give me
well, look,
proof?
we're comparing. Oh, that's great. It was just a transition word, right? So calm down. Look,
Okay, so you don't have proof behind what you're
obviously,
saying.
the entire idea behind the BPW is that it's an unrealistic world, but we're supposed to follow
So
the
I don't,
steps
I
and
don't, I don't,
principles that
I don't
could
care about it
come to
then.
the conclusion
I
of
don't,
that
I don't
world.
care about
And
it
so we
then. I don't
apply
care about it
following
then. I
those
don't care about it
principles
then.
like
It's
we're already
unrealistic.
doing now, like I already
It's
tried giving an
unrealistic.
example for, and I know you're talking
Unrealistic.
over me right now. But like
It's
you said,
unrealistic. It's
not to
unrealistic.
talk over you. I did not do that. So just calm down, right?
Unrealistic by
Look,
definition means not realistic.
obviously, what I'm referring to here is going to be something that is very highly unlikely to account for. The
All right,
idea
so
is
if
that we
it's highly
still ought
unlikely,
to
so if
try to
it's
figure out
highly
a process to
unlikely,
get to that
if it's highly
because it is the
unlikely, it's
best
not
moral
taken within a
possible
debate.
world. And so,
It's
if
not.
we
It's
ought
not at
do things
all.
like follow,
Why?
Tommy
That's the
Jump's meta-ethical view and
presupposition.
normative
That's
ethical
the
view, and
presupposition
follow
that it
steps like
is.
following his
That's the
GoFundMe, which
presupposition that it
goes
is.
towards research to
That's
help
the
achieve that
presupposition that
world,
it is. That's
then
the
it would be a
presupposition that
lot
it is.
better because it would be stuff that would be concurring in the real world at the real time, which is the present. To be clear here, and hold on, look, just to be even more crystal clear, I'll just get something set up like a GoFundMe, and I'll just send the link in chat. It's from T-Jump. And there's actual studies done
Okay, and
that follow
that is
steps to
his
help
opinions
go
and it's based off of
towards the
his opinions
best
and
of all
his
possible
views
worlds,
about
which is just
veganism. That's just a world
obviously more
he would
relevant.
want it. That does not discredit the other world of people that have cultures of eating meat. That's just his personal worldview on it. So that doesn't
Wait, the
matter. There's
idea is that the social and
Don't cut me.
technological
Don't do
advances are in the world.
don't do this. There's
Okay.
GoFundMe about people in Africa that needs fucking food. They would accept meat and shit like that. Everything they can accept to get. So it doesn't matter. What you're gonna send me is a personalized GoFundMe of a person that probably supports veganism, but it doesn't actually support your argument. That's again a source from a bias. You know, you're getting that from a biased source. So I wouldn't agree to that. I don't think this is proving your point. Why we as a society, or why it is okay to, not to be a vegan. Why it's okay to be a vegan. You have not actually been able to do that this whole time. Literally. You have not been able to do that. Hold on. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait. I'm not done. I'm not done. I'm not done. I'm not done. I'm not done.
Okay,
I'm not done.
Go ahead.
You have the basis that you have is T-Jumps. That is not a good enough or sufficient enough basis to tell us why it's okay to be a vegan, because that's, as in its most simplified form, someone's personal view that they value very much. But that does not go over other people's views where they would need food, anything, which it can include meat. So it doesn't matter what you're talking about here. This doesn't prove at all what you're talking about. You said multiple times within this debate that this world is very unrealistic and it's very unlikely. Well, in debating, we value things that's more likely and more, credible. You have the least credible argument, you have the least credible substance coming from T-Jump, and you have nothing actually of value supporting what you're saying other than a possible world which isn't even likely. So your argument's less likely too. So you have no backing evidence or backing foundation to what you're talking about.
Yeah.
None.
Already done. Okay, I assume he's done then. Yeah, look, right, the entire idea of, things like contradictory intuitions or, intuitions that are incompatible with each other. Look, the entire idea is that it's a combination of those worlds. And so things like that happen.
How can that happen though? How can that happen?
Technological. Wait, hold on. Sorry, it wasn't finished, Deadboy. I'm going to continue.
I'm asking you, how can that happen?
So things like technological advances and social advances.
I'm questioning what technological advance
concur in that world.
What? How? I'm asking. You keep saying this is going to happen. How?
Right?
What? Tell me what. Show
it
me.
was, you know,
I'm
a
asking for
highly
proof.
unlikely world.
What
The entire
technological
point is
advance
that we
can
still
allow
ought to try to
things,
reach that because it
certain
is
certain
the
viewpoints that
best,
don't
more
coincide?
possible
So people
world.
that are
Now, I'm
Zionists,
just going
people
to
who
ask you a
aren't
simple
Zionists,
question to clarify
what
before I
technological
continue and address
advances
the rest of
can
your
allow
points,
those people
Deadboy.
to come
Do
eye
you
to
think
eye?
that we
What
ought to
technological advances?
try
I'm
to
asking you
strive
what.
for the
I
best
don't
morally
believe in this.
possible world?
I don't believe in it. I do not believe in this. That there is some type of technological advance that could happen. I do not believe in that. I'm telling you right now, and it's obviously based off of like, you know. Did you ask you a question? Did you ask me a question?
Yeah, the question was, do you think that we should try to strive for the best moral possible world?
I think I've already answered this like multiple times.
Well, maybe I'm just like, maybe I just wasn't paying attention
I
to the
think I already
conversation
answered this.
clearly enough.
I think I answered this. There's a reason. There's a difference between wanting to strive for it and understanding that there's certain ways where that can't possibly happen at all. We have an
Wait,
understanding. Don't cut me off. There's an understanding that there's certain moral views that cannot coincide with each other. That's what I'm asking you. I'm asking you to prove how, through what, right? Because you can't just throw out this possibility but not add no substance behind this possibility. It makes it zero. It makes it nothing to the debate itself. What technological events could have two opposite moral viewings stand together in the society? What? That's what I've been questioning you the whole time. You have not given an answer to that. That's the main
well,
question behind the argument. That's the main basis behind this. You keep saying, "Oh, technological advances." I think you're just saying words out your ass. What are these technological advances? Why should I just agree to the notation just because you say it? That doesn't make it right. What technological advances? You said a GoFundMe. That's a technological advance. I already gave the fucking. Already gave you what that is. That's a person that has a view that some people support. That doesn't answer the question that's at hand. You do not have an answer for the question at hand. I know you don't. So
yeah,
let's
obviously,
go back
like,
to
GoFundMe's, they don't even have to be towards a specific person. Like, the entire idea that was presented there is that those GoFundMe's are specifically targeted towards studies that help improve technology towards those different pieces of technology. I could give you
which
fucking
studies.
different
Studies
examples
like
right
what?
now. I
Studies
could
like
give
what?
you, for example,
Studies like
like
what?
telescopes, fucking literally any sort of piece of equipment
I
that could
think
be
that's
considered
irrelevant to the
improved
argument. This is
upon in order
irrelevant.
to
Stay
gather
on
more
track.
empirical
Stay
data.
on
I could
track.
give you
Stay
a
on
thousand
track.
different fucking
Stay on
examples of
track. I want
technology that
to
could
see
be
from the
improved
first
upon
example that you
in
gave
order
me.
to help
What
things like
studies are you
different
referencing from the first example
intuitions
you gave?
come together instead of grow apart and
What
be,
study
you know,
from the first
inconsistent
example
with
have
each
you
other.
gave?
I
What
can give you
studies
some
have the
basic
what
examples.
studies have the
Let's say
first
there's
one
like
have the
some sort
first
of
one you gave?
biological study that's, you know, people have different
What?
views
I'm asking
upon,
you
right?
what?
So let's say, for example, trans men and
What is
trans
the
women,
study? I'm
right?
asking you. Give me the exact study. You're not
And
doing
then
that. You're
there's some sort of
dodging.
biological study that
Where?
happens, I don't
Show
know,
me.
through different fucking studies that occur because people
You don't
donated
know.
or
You don't know.
because
You're just. I can hear. I
people
can tell
gave
you're
more
just talking
thought
at your
towards
ass.
the
I can
opinion.
tell that you're just talking.
And so
I
in
want the
doing
study.
so,
I want the biological
they
studies
raised enough money or they
that was
raised
inference
something
of the
in order
GoFundMe that you're
to
talking
help
about. I need the
improve the
proof. I need
technology
the
that
proof.
helps
I need the
study
proof that is
towards
going to disregard it. It's
biology
just being
within human
someone's
anatomy.
opinion that they're
And so
giving a
then it comes to a
GoFundMe on. I
conclusion
agree that
that
multiple
it's
people can agree on that.
factual
That does not
or
make
there's
it,
like a very
anything
big
that you're
or
saying.
more likely
So,
theory
please,
that
matter of
approves,
fact, I
I don't know,
think
like
just
T
raise your
men and T
replies here.
women. And so then that brings more
I asked multiple times what
intuitions
is the study. So
together rather
again,
than growing them apart. That's just the
that's
basic
one of the
example. I can give you
substances
like
behind it.
10,000 other
I'm
fucking
asking for it. This is
examples.
obviously some type
Oh,
of tangible
and
empirical
you've also
proof.
been cutting me
I've
off
been
the
asking
entire
this.
time. Okay, great.
I've been asking this for some type of empirical proof. You have not given me that. So we can move on from that because I've been asking you this whole time for some
You
type
want
of
to go to
empirical proof.
conclusions, Deadboy?
I'm questioning you upon that, and you're not necessarily answering the questions. So I'm going to just start it off again. You initially talked about some PBW, some best possible world. I explained. Could you give me the explanation to why it would be the best possible world, and why should I adhere to the same thing? Why they think it is? You said, "Oh, because of some technological advances that would happen." I asked, "Well, what are these technological advances, and how can they happen?" Both of these are not answered. You tried to give a half answer by saying, "Oh, from a GoFundMe," but this thing is not represented because I already gave the context to what a GoFundMe is, and I think you're just applying a certain type of level of authority over that, which it does not hold within itself. So I'm asking you a question. We could just talk within reality itself. Why can't you just do that? And you're saying, "Oh, you're talking about these studies that's going to occur and mess up like that." And I kept asking for proof this whole time. You've done none of that. I've already applied Hitchens razor. So I just don't I don't understand. understand. Like, you're obviously quoting some type of empirical evidence, and you said something about intuition. That's again not strong enough. I think that's held on the lowest level of evidence. That would be something some sort of anecdotal, which is not taken with an account of debate, right? I need some type of empirical evidence to prove what you're talking about. If not, you do not have the fundamental backing to support your argument at all. So I don't understand like how you would win anything here.
I pinged you in the chat. Do you want to go to conclusions?
Hmm.
I asked you if you wanted to go to conclusions in chat.
Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, I don't think I'm missing anything. Could you still just like send me the proof that I'm asking for though? Like, as you're quoting empirical proof, so could you send me the proof I'm asking for?
I mean, I gave like a couple examples during the debate, but you just said
Examples
they
not
weren't
an
accounted
examples is
for.
not proof. Examples is not proof.
Okay, well
how
then
you're
we can just go to
how you're quoting.
conclusions.
Hold on. What you said was studies. Studies implies some type of observation or study that had happened that you can physically tell me. That was your backing evidence. I'm not going to just believe you by saying, "Oh, there are studies." That's not good enough proof. If you're quoting that there were some type of studies, I'm putting into question that these studies even took place in the first place. You need to prove that.
Right, but Deadboy, did you even hear the entire Team NT women analogy that I gave you? Like the entire
You said
example, or were you just
you said
an
analogy. You said analogy. Did it prove the existence of the study that you were quoting that I'm asking for?
Wait, no.
Did it,
I
no.
said,
Did
did
it
you
do that? Because
hear?
I'm asking.
You're gonna ask,
I'm
so
asking.
you didn't
I don't
hear it?
believe in the validity. I'm talking about the validity of the studies. I'm asking for the validity, and you try to say that you give me an analogy that doesn't actually ask what I'm getting you to do. You said there's studies. That's implying that you've seen something before. That's some type of form of proof. Could you send the studies that you're quoting that give substance to your argument? If not, that is Hitchens' razor.
It was a hypothetical.
So there's hypothetical studies.
Yes,
So it's
because
not
you
real.
wanted me. So it's
So do you know
not
what
real, but you
hypothetical
don't think
means?
it's likely. Then wasn't your
I
entire
don't. No. No.
look,
Wait.
look, I'm
No.
not
I
gonna do
don't.
this. We
I
can do
don't see the
conclusions.
likeliness. I don't see the likeliness because the basis behind the likeliness would be some type of proof or evidence. That's not what you presented. You tried to give me an analogy. So again, what I thought that you were doing was giving me some type of empirical evidence to prove why we should adhere to this best possible world, but you did not do that, or why it even is a best possible world in and of its sense. You have not proven that. You said it's hypothetical or based on. What is it based on? What proof is it based on?
Look,
You can't just. You can hold on. So are you saying it's just not necessarily real or true? That's what hypothetical means. So what is your basis in reality? I'm not done. What is your basis in reality? It could just pose, but not. It's not necessarily real or true. So your argument in and of itself is supposed.
Look, Deadboy, we can just go to conclusions. I'm not gonna.
Is your argument in and of itself supposed? I'm still debating, bro. Is your argument supposed? Are you not affirming anything? Because your affirmations were not proven. That's what I'm saying. Every time you make an affirmation, you go on it. You say, "Oh no, never mind. It's just hypothetical. I'm not really affirming it." So what are you making a point or no? I'm not gonna let you just
answered a question that was asked to me. After I answered the question, the person kept cutting me off as I answered the question. And then when I asked the question afterwards of whether or not they caught that, they tried to press another point upon me instead of actually answering it. Hold on, I'm not fucking finished. You calm the fuck down right now.
You asked me a question, did you make a point?
So look.
Did you ask a question, did you make a point?
I'm tired of this whining shit you've been doing the entire conversation. So please,
did you ask a question,
we can either have me repeat this stipulation and then explain to you everything else that you wanted afterwards, or we can just go to conclusions right now. It's completely up to you.
I mean, you can repeat yourself, but if you're asking a question and not, affirming the proof that I'm needed you to do, then it doesn't really like go nowhere. You're just asking me for my opinion. Is that what you're doing? Just asking me for my opinion, a question, or are you interested in something I'm doing?
Obviously wasn't what it was.
All right, so are you putting into question? So why are you saying asking a question? Like
No, I'm answering a question, Deadboy.
You're answering a question.
Answered a question.
You answered a question with an analogy.
You said to give you some sort of actual explanation for as to why there is a step-by-step process for why these different intuitions can actually come together. You wanted me to give you a
No,
systematic process.
that's the
Hold
most
on, wait, I'm
irrelevant
sorry, I'm
part of
not
the
finished.
debate.
You wanted me to give a systematic process that explicitly showed how in the BPW two different incompatible
That's,
intuitions could actually become grown towards each
I'm
other
questioning the
through
BPW in itself.
studies.
I'm questioning the BPW. I'm questioning everything about the BPW. That's what you're not understanding. They're not tracking. They haven't tracking issue 1 on 1
Well,
here.
it's not
You better
something to
lock in.
question.
We said it. How? How you tell me that? How?
Because
I
the
did it.
entire idea is that it's a
I just
principle
did.
that is not actually existent right now, but it's a
Wait,
logically
wait.
possible world
Wait.
that
Hold on.
consists.
Wait. Hold on. Hold
Wait, do
on.
you think the BPW
So
is
wait.
logically possible to be
Wait. Can I
conceived?
not? Wait. Can I not question that? Why you keep trying to force questions on me? I don't. I think this is the question already pretty evidence. You don't know what you're talking about. So listen, I'm asking for some type of relevant type of standing that you have on it. You then fall back into, oh, it's just, it's not real. It's just possible. That's what you're saying. What is that? How does that win you? Doesn't win you the debate at all. It's a possibility claim, right? You
Okay,
didn't
look, if
actually
you
give
think
up.
you've won, then we can just
Cutting
go
me
to
off.
conclusions.
Wait, but with possibility claims, you need to have credibility or some certainty behind it. When I question you on your credibility and certainty, you have no backing in or base in it. For every study, I ask you for proof. Studies are obviously quoting something. Or some type of form of basic argument. Did not send the proof. I already applied in the razor. So what do you have here?
The basis
Anything
for
that
the
you're
study
saying.
was not given because it was stipulated in a hypothetical. That's right.
Wait, so okay, so you fall. Okay, so if it's a stipulation of a hypothetical, it has no bearing on the actuality.
Because you
Thinking
asked
about
for a
like
process of how we could actually reach that through studies.
hold on, because I asked and I questioned about 5 things for the hypothetical to even exist within the first place, and then you deviate into trying to give proof behind the hypothetical. Then I said that's not enough proof. I'm asking for empirical. That you're
Well,
having tracking
I
issues
think
this
it's
whole
enough
time.
proof that uses
Well,
empirical evidence. Do you think doing
how?
physical
Wait, the
research is
empirical
empirical
evidence needs to
evidence?
be sent. You need to send
Wait, hold on.
it.
I just have a
That's what I'm
clarifying
asking you.
question. I have a
I need to
clarifying
ask you. I
question.
don't know. Ask you.
Do you
No.
think do you think
Wait. I already
empirical
told you what you're doing.
evidence
You're doing
is gathered through
anecdotal
physical
evidence. You're doing
research?
anecdotal evidence. I'm asking for empirical evidence. I'm asking for the tangible evidence of it. I cannot just take your word. Literally, I cannot just take your word. I'm just validating everything that you're saying because somewhere you said it would. The only way for your argument to go through that it has to be based off some credibility. It has to be based off of some certainty. It has to be based on some likeliness that was supported. Every time that you try to bring up one, I furthermore asked for proof, and you did not give any. You tried to give an analogy, which analogy tries to better explain something, but analogy doesn't define something or actually explain what's necessarily need to be talked about here. So what I'm talking about, what basis, what foundation have you built that I have not broken down yet?
Yeah, no, the foundation of my epistemological view is physicalism. Wouldn't you agree?
You said that's the basis of that? What's your basis of your view?
My epistemological view, look, I tagged you a couple times. Do you think that empirical evidence is done through physical research?
I think empirical evidence is done on physical research. I already explained what I think it is. I
Okay,
already gave the
perfect. So
distinction.
perfect. That's done.
I already gave the distinction.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's perfect. All right, let's go to conclusions.
I
Man.
already said it. Did you hear me? I said by observation. Did you hear that?
Right. Exactly. Perfect. So then that would just be the case. I think.
Wait. Wait, hold on. So time out. So when I said by observation, I said you were looking at certain observations. I said what were the observations that you were looking at? You need proof behind that. That would be empirical evidence.
You need
That's
proof
the empirical
behind
evidence.
what someone's looking at.
Yes. What are you talking? Yes.
So
I'm looking. Oh yeah. Yes. I'm looking at this. The sky is red. The sky is red.
Right.
Yes, I need proof behind it. Exactly. Yes. Well, hold on. What did I need proof behind that? Hold on. What did I need proof behind that claim? What did I need proof behind that claim?
Outside and looking
What
at the
did I
sky
need proof behind that claim? What did I need proof behind that claim? So I'm observing. Yeah, the sky is red. Right. Where I'm at. Right now in Charleston, South Carolina, the sky is red. Are you gonna take that as proof? Cause I'm observing it, or would you need me to prove it by turning my camera on so you can see what I'm seeing too?
No.
Which one is it?
Look, whatever you want, I agree. Let's just go to conclusions.
Whatever I want. You agree? So you agree to my notation of evidence?
On the broad side,
well, so if you agree to my notation of evidence, then you still have
Deadboy,
Prove
are
it,
you
you need to prove
semantic
it.
realist?
Come on now.
Do you
You
take
just get words
everything I
there.
say as a truth?
You say words to hide the fact that you can't
Oh, I
argue.
just reduced
You
it
know it's
for you.
crazy. You say
Do you
words to
take
hide the
everything I
fact you can't
say?
argue. You say words to hide that you can't argue. You can't
Look,
argue with
if
me.
you
Like in a
think
back and
that, do you
forth,
think I've
in a
lost?
back
Do
and
you think
forth
I've lost?
argument, in a back and forth argument. Yes,
Look,
you not prove. You did not prove what you
Deadboy, do you
need to
think
prove.
I've lost?
Yes, not prove you need to prove. Yes,
Okay,
you did not
perfect.
prove you need to
Perfect. Let's go
prove.
to conclusions.
You
Let's go
did
to
not prove
conclusions.
to prove.
Let's go to conclusions then.
You were on the affirmative. Then every
Bro,
time
whatever you
you
say, bro.
Hey, wait,
Macho.
you
Let's
were
go
on the
straight to
affirmative. You were
conclusions.
on the affirmative, and every time I questioned you, you backed up and you said, "Oh, I'm not really affirming this thing. It could just be possible." That's what you were saying the whole time. And I said multiple times, possibility doesn't actually win you anything. You have to prove the likeliness of it. You have not responded to that. I think that's what foundationally wins you a debate. So you have not responded to the certain foundations that can hold up your argument, which would be,
Okay, well, if you
you
think
know,
that,
we could just have
go to
Flash give his judgment
conclusions.
right now, bro. We don't need any
Well,
conclusions,
I
bro.
want conclusions
We could just have Flash give it. Flash, do you
because
need
Flash didn't
conclusions?
hear a lot, over all of the crosstalk.
Flash, how you know that? Flash, do you have an opinion on who won or no? Cause I don't think I needed conclusions. I don't think none of us needed conclusions.
Yeah, like I have the notes down, but I couldn't fully hear anything of like Tyler's view due to like the interrupting. But I
Yeah,
feel like
I sort of figured. So, do you want conclusions, or do you just want to give like who you think won? Oh,
I
yes,
like
I've definitely lost.
yeah, I like conclusions just to make sure I didn't like miss anything from you guys' view.
Okay, sure.
Go first, little boy.
All right. Yeah. Wait. We are giving conclusions, just to be clear for the
I
recording.
mean, bro, just have him, just have him give us judgment, bro.
Okay, sure. You can give judgment, bro.
Word. If it's like you're missing
We
anything,
both lost to that boy.
Yeah, let me just like copy and paste the notes real quick.
Yo, Ryan, run my fate.
and Flash, did you hear every single word that I said?
No, as I said earlier, I couldn't hear everything because you guys like were interrupting each other at certain points. But it's like the overall argument. I do understand that you were like putting these like um probability or like hypotheticals into question and making figures. Like I understand like the overall argument. But like for like the sub points, I probably didn't hear those because like again the interrupting. But
Okay. So do you feel comfortable before you give your judgment? Cause I obviously understand what's going on here. Before you feel for me and him, do you feel comfortable watching that part of the sub points of the rec before you give your judgment?
um sure, but I wouldn't hear anything. Like it's just like you guys breaking at one another, so I wouldn't hear anything. But that's what I asked
So
the
they're saying
conclusion.
it's like points to the debate that's like that ass you just couldn't hear type shit at all.
Yeah. So I'm only gonna have to like go off of what I heard and what I understand from the arguments.
Okay.
Yeah. So based off of what I understand and what I wrote down, you can just check the scan chat. Um, I believe time one. I don't think like the Hinch's razor point would actually address what he said. As in order for like Hinch's razor to work, there has to be some sort of like empirical assertion. Time's like whole thing was that trying to jump right. It was never him like making empirical claims and then going back to these claims being possible or hypothetical. The claims are always hypothetical, slash possible. Um, you were saying like it's going to have a foundation from our reality, but the foundation from our reality would be that it's morally correct or is morally perfect. The foundation is based off the moral intuitions and it being the best thing for all society and for the entire world. So his argument would have a basis within reality. Then for the what is it, third point, for the like him having to prove these claims. You asked for these GoFundMe, you asked for all of these things. Time once again explained that the things that he was referencing are not empirical. So there's no like actual physical links that we can go to. Instead, these are like mere hypotheticals of which we can achieve and go through to most likely achieve this what is it, possible world. You explain within the debate that okay, well, if it's highly unlikely for it to be the case, then it has no probability, then therefore it can just be dismissed. But times likelihood and credibility comes from the fact that okay, us being into like technology, what is the word? Technology like advance our world via like there being no murder, there being no rape, things of that nature, or there being cures for cancer and things of these things. These are things that lead to the best possible world. So I do believe time does. I do believe time did establish a likelihood for its argument, which would then go against your point of there being no likely or it being highly unlikely. Um, Yeah, so I believe Tom will just win, but my notes are in the scan chat. So
Yeah,
for like